Hello, I am Tom Chick. We are in my dining room. In a moment, we're going to go to the dining room table, and I'll show you a little bit about a game called Aftermath. Actually, I should let you know in advance. I'm going to do some complaining today. I want to tell you about two things in Aftermath that really bother me. No, I'm not going to rage quit. I'm going to stick with it for a bit, but I just want to complain a little bit today. So it's Saturday, April 4th. Hope everyone's weekend is going well. Let's go listen to me kvetch. All right, here we go. So I finished the last mission that I was doing. We went back to base, and I was able to pretty much buy all of the colony improvements that are buyable at this point. Previously, I kind of thought, oh, I really need scrap. I kind of don't need it now anymore, and I can freely spend it. You guys, if you can look down here at my characters, you can see they're kitted out with a fair number of doodads. Grumple's got both a badass blade razor and some armor. Messiah is wearing a fashion doll helm, which helps him convince other mice to join us. I can even tote this fish hook and thread with me, as well as this drone. Ringer has his staple gun. Oh, I did find out Whisper is a chick mouse, Grumple is a chick guinea pig, Messiah and Ringer are dudes, a mouse and a hamster, respectively. All right, so now that we're straight on everybody's species and sex, I think we're ready to continue. Ringer has his tools, Whisper is wearing aluminum armor, and can even, now how's this for a ninja mouse? Smoke bombs. This represents that it is in her backpack and not equipped because, as everyone knows, it takes two hands to wield the chopstick if you're a mouse. So upon everyone returning to base and bringing all the scrap with me, here's my concern. I don't think this game is interested in pushing back. I think you can fail. I don't think that this game really wants to do anything other than move you along its narrative beats. And even though they can branch, even though it might take some people more time than others to reach them, I don't think this is much of a survival game. Which gets back to one of my earlier concerns. Plaid Hat makes this adventure book series. Aftermath is a part of it. The very first one, Stuffed Fables, totally for kids. Comanauts, I don't know Comanauts very well. I was assuming that was more of an adult game. And this, although it's got the cute mice, early on I was attracted to it for its colony development stuff, for the survival element. But I'm thinking now this is kind of kiddie. I don't know, maybe I'm speaking too soon. Hopefully I'm jinxing myself, because what I'm now about to do, if you look down here at the city map, we always start in Abigail Lane, that's where our house is. The mission that I'm now doing, which is to help these pigeons, and I need to do that because they have a water source that I have to secure before I can build a garden, which is one of the victory conditions. Grumple, each of these fellows has, or chicks, has a victory condition. Grumple's is build a garden. We can't build a garden without a water source. So to get the water source, we have to come down here to Pigeon Hole to help them secure their fountain. And I presume we're going to get a source of water from that. So starting up here in Abigail Lane, I can spend 2 batteries if I want, fast travel down here, and just do the mission. But what I'm going to do, because along the way, each one of these spaces is a page on the adventure book with a map that you have to play. Along the way, I want to gather more resources. And maybe I am speaking too soon about the game being easy, because what happens when you go on a longer journey like this is I think you start to run out of health more quickly. But at this point, one of the advanced missions I have is coming down here to this toy mart to secure a toy truck, which is what Ringer wants for his victory condition. So that's my initial kvetch. I'm concerned that this game is actually for kids, and there's nothing wrong with that, in that it's relatively easy, and it just wants to be not challenging, but entertaining, which is fine. I was kind of hoping for challenging. The other thing, and this is, I think, a far more relevant complaint. The first complaint says more about what I was looking for than what the game is providing. The other complaint is universal. And actually, it's even more particular to a casual audience who might enjoy the fact that there's not much pushback. And I've alluded to this before, but oh golly, the rulebook in this game is just horrible. And it's horrible in a couple of ways that I want to be specific about. The first is in terms of organization. Now, it's a short rulebook. It is 12 pages. And you know, the first two just list components. So really 10 pages. Some of which, you know, look at this page. More than half of it's artwork. It's a short rule book, and it's quite an accomplishment to be as poorly organized as it is, given how few pages it has. Part of why it's short is that a lot of gameplay emerges as you work your way through the book. So that allows them to have a smaller rule set because they fold in more rules as you go. But given that it's so short, organizationally, it is so poorly thought out in that if I need to look up a rule, if I'm told to set something up or to execute a verb like draw or set up or discard, common verbs, and I'm not sure about something like discard where, draw from which deck, or how do I set this up? What distinguishes one icon from another? That's the sort of thing, okay, I go to the rule book, I look it up, and it's sort of lodged in my head and I don't have to look it up again. Where you would find any given rule in the rule book is kind of stream of consciousness. And I get the sense that the rule book was written by someone who already knew the game and just kind of linearly thought, okay, I'll tell them about this, and then I'll tell them about that, and then I'll tell them about this. Oh, and I probably should tell them about this that related to that. And rather than going back and revising that part of the rule book, they just added in over here at the part they were working on. So that if you want to look something up that should be in this section, you rack your brain looking over this section. You know organizationally what I need to know. It's established in this part of the rule book. And then later you find out, wait, it's in a little tiny paragraph over in this part of the rule book. It should have been moved over here. So organizationally, and there's no index, by the way, if you're going to do that, if you're going to have stuff scattered around, and sometimes you need to do that, have an index at least. But no index. So organizationally, it just does a terrible job. And I don't say this to be mean, but I say this because I mean it. This rule book should be taught in classes for how not to make a rule book. Boy, that's a jerk thing to say. But I feel like it's just a classic example of when you organize a rule book, keep in mind that the person for whom you're writing the book knows nothing about your game. You are starting with a blank slate, and then you are filling that slate in with information about your game. So how you present the information, in what order, how you organize the different blocks of information. Very, very important stuff. If you want to know how to do it incorrectly, check out the rule book for Aftermath. And the other thing, and this is very straightforward, there's just missing information. Stuff in the rule book that about playing the game, which is not there. Plaid Hat has a fact that they've released. Some of it's there, but even then, there are elements of the game, and they tend to be simple things that just aren't there. And it seems like there was an assumption made by whomever wrote the rule book that, yeah, this, it goes without saying. And no, there's no such thing as a rule in a game that goes without saying. I even love, I kind of want to go get it for you guys. Well, the Deep Madness rulebook, which is solid. It's great. It's what you need in a rulebook. There's a section at the end of the rulebook where, and I love this, they have a paragraph. First, with the word like, okay, when the word exactly appears, here's what it means. When the word draw appears, here's what it means. When the word here, and I think there's even a section for the word was. They're just very meticulous. I played through a lot of Deep Madness before I realized they use the word damage and wound to mean very different things. And those are kind of synonyms. Wound something or damage something. But no, Deep Madness is very careful about establishing, and it's in that section too that I mentioned. Damage means this, wound means that. So in addition to also being a little loosey-goosey with words, there's just stuff in the Aftermath rulebook that's just completely missing. So there are my complaints. I'm concerned about the level of pushback, but more importantly, the rulebook is terrible, and this is especially a problem for casual players, I think. It was a problem for me because as I was playing, gameplay was, okay, 15 minutes of playing a game, 5 minutes of looking up a rule. 15 minutes of playing the game, 5 minutes of looking up a rule. 15 minutes, and that's horrible pacing. And someone who's confronted with all of this detail right here, who might have to refer to rules, this is a lot right here. There's a lot of information, and it's supplemented by the rule book, and it's supplemented poorly. So, okay, that's enough complaining. Tomorrow, let's try to be positive. Come on back. And again, I'm warning you guys, if you think this is silly, oh boy, what's coming in a few days, I'm just warning you, absolutely ridiculous. Just silliness on the way. You have been warned. There you go. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope everyone stays safe and stays healthy and keeps their spirits up. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Oh, shoot a monkey.